Here we have one of the scariest procedures you could probably carry out on any computer, which is replacing the contacts on a Acorn Atom keyboard. Now, as you can see, this keyboard's been removed. This is from an issue 4 motherboard, because the issue 5 is slightly different. It's a metal surround. This one is just plastic. Okay, let me start off by showing you the actual bit itself that's coming out. So that's not brilliantly clear. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see there's there's like a ridge, and then if you see there's like basically a point out to the left and a point out to the right. That's 2 notches, and then you've got this middle notch as well. The way the key sits in, if I come back here, I'll just put one key on here. So if I just wiggle this off, so you see the key underneath is just a little crosshead. I think that's the same on an issue 4 or an issue 5, because the issue 5 has this crosshead part on the keyboard. Okay, so now this procedure is quite, well, it's not for the faint-hearted, basically. As you can see, I've had the luxury of having this keyboard to practice on, and you can also see the early experiments where it's gone horribly wrong. I mean, if absolute worst and you do crack your keyboard doing this, it's just a case of super gluing it, and luckily enough, when you put the key back over the top, you won't be able to see it anyway. These little notches, these little contacts, have to come in through the top, because if I show you the back of it, as you can see, there's no physical way that can come through the back. That's the only way it's going to come out, is through the top. Now, the best way, the only thing I can suggest with this is patience. It's lots and lots of patience. Don't rush it. Take your time. This can take anywhere between 5 minutes to 20 minutes to get one of these keys out, because obviously the reason you're doing this will be to replace a broken, this top part here does break off quite easily, and if you can get this out, you can easily just clip the next one in. The good thing is, inserting it is actually very easy. You just literally push it down and it's good to go. If you look underneath it, you can see as well it's got like a couple of springs, and then if I look underneath there, you can see these contacts. So this is all one piece of wire here, which comes up and basically coils through and then just pushes through on and solders onto the printed circuit board. Okay, so let me show you the technique I've come up with. I'm sure there's other techniques, but I've looked on the internet, I cannot find anything, so this is just something I've developed myself. What you need is a long flat screwdriver. What I'm using here is just a kitchen knife, basically, just a dining table knife, because it's got a long flat blade. I mean, you can do it with a terminal screwdriver, but what you don't want is something where it's chunky, and what I mean by that, where it kind of goes a wedge shape rather than it just being like a long flat blade. So what I'll do, I'll show you how you do it. Basically, you kind of slot down. So let's try and get this one. Alright. So you kind of like just start gently wiggling it, the plastic backwards and forwards, and you're kind of trying to prise this, and you do it the front. Right, so if I'm looking at my keyboard, this is the way my keys are sitting, this way. All these slant backwards, so at the moment these are all slanting back in that direction. So what you need to do is you just need to work it from this side and then work it from this back corner, and all you're doing, you're just gently prising it up. But I mean, it looks like I'm doing a lot of movement now. It's just because I'm not down very far at the moment. And also, don't try filming while you're trying to do this as well. It's ideal to have both hands. Another thing I would suggest, and this is all we're doing really, it's just literally, we're just slowly just massaging it pretty much. You're not going too extreme. If you wedge it down too deep and you just go like that, then you will just crack this. Because I mean, the other thing you've got to appreciate is this plastic is from like 1982, so it's probably a little bit fragile. So as I say, you just kind of work it through and just do not rush. That is the absolute key to it. See, and sometimes when you put it down, you can feel that you've just gone a little bit too far down. It's starting to lift up a bit now. Again, ideally what you want to do is have two hands free, because you can be holding the top of this one as you're working it. So, as I say, it just suddenly goes. And the good thing is, because the springs are soldered onto the printed circuit board anyway, it's not like you get with some keyboards where the springs like around the top. You don't get it where it just suddenly just all springs out everywhere, and you end up playing hunt the spring. But that is coming almost there. Oh, I felt, yep, there, look, did you see that? See, it just suddenly goes. So if I just come down here a bit, you can see now this one is just sitting a little bit higher than the rest. So now I should be able to just pull this out with my fingers. And yep, there you go. So that's come out good. If I show you where it's come out of, as you can see, it's nice and clean. There's no burring or a little bit, tiny little bit there, but again, nothing. I mean, it hasn't cracked anything. It's come out nice and easy. So yep, not too bad. Another thing I would suggest, because obviously this is a keyboard outside of the actual thing, if you could, let me get another atom just to show you. So here's a full atom. So like, say for example you was doing a key at this top row here, what you've got to be careful of is when you're prising that you don't damage this. Ideally what you want to do is remove this cover to give you clear access. Also, another thing I would suggest is, say for example it's a D key or one of these middle keys that you're trying to replace, I would remove the keys around it just to give you a little bit more room. And again, as I say, just the more gentle you can do it, the better. Just don't rush it. As I say, if you use the knife, and as I say, you can use, I've done it with a screwdriver as well. I just find that this flat blade tends to really kind of work well, because it just doesn't, when you first start doing it, the best way to describe it is you're not really doing anything. It just feels like you're just kind of nudging the key up a little bit. If you stick the knife down too far and it feels a bit too gripping, then just bring the knife up a little bit and just, as I say, it's one of these techniques. Once you've done a few of them, it's quite straightforward, but it's that initial one, and it is quite a scary thing to do. So just take your time with it. And as I say, just be careful, obviously, because you're surround, you don't want to damage this. So ideally just remove this this top cover if you can, just to give you the room. And if not, if you if you don't want to go that far, then just be very, very careful. Okay, and then just to quickly show you how easy it is, so this was the one we've taken out. So once you've taken out your snapped little part, you can just put this new one back in again. So as you can see, just make sure that if I show it from the side here, you see the way they're all leaning back. Just make sure you put it in so it's leaning in the same direction as all the rest. And again, all you're doing, you're just wiggling it down a bit. And do you hear that little snap? So that's it, snapped in place, and it's ready to go. The good thing is, because this part's just snapped off, the contact underneath should still be good. You shouldn't have to really do anything with the springs or anything. As I say, it's just a case of getting this old plastic part out and the new plastic part in. And as I say, I cannot stress it enough, just take your time and be patient with it. Alright, well, that's the tutorial. Good luck, and I will see you next time.